Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity on the Avenue. Glad to see familiar faces and some new ones too. Thank you. I'm going to go rogue here for a second and do a little thing. So Doris isn't feeling great today, and I want to share something that I picked up when I was in the Denver Women's Chorus. And what we would do if someone was going through something or not feeling well, we do a little song. And what you do is you put your hands towards her like they do in prayer, and you sing this. I'm sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I'm sending you light to hold you in love. Sing with me. I'm sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I'm sending you light to hold you in love. Hopefully that'll help you today. And I'm going to go on and do the song that I really planned as well. And hopefully she'll feel this already, and every one of you will also. I am healed, whole, and healthy. I relax and visualize. I am healed, whole, and healthy. I am well. I am well. I am healed, whole, and healthy. I accept and I receive. I am healed, whole, and healthy. I am well. I am well. I am healed, whole, and healthy. I've got love surrounding me. I am healed, whole, and healthy. I am well. I am well. I am well. I am well.
Perfect. All better. So one of the things that you discover when you're a minister is that whatever is you're going to talk about, you tend to experience, so it comes up for you. So I may never talk about healing again, so I want you to really appreciate this talk. Anyway, I have a sore throat and a cough, so there's not a big deal going on, but just that, and I would leave my mask on, except I think then you couldn't understand what I was saying. So that's what's going on, and I appreciate all the good energy and love that you send me. Now, I would invite you to join with me with Unity's statement of faith. There is only one power and one presence in the universe and in my life, God, the good omnipotent.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
Let us join for a moment together in oneness with universal love. Divine life, today we pause in gratitude to remember our loved ones who now dwell safely in our hearts beyond their earthly experience. They are our beloved ones, our lovers, our children, our siblings, our parents, our grandparents, our ancestors, friends, neighbors, and teachers. They are the ones who brought us to this great land, or fought for the peace and freedom that we share this very minute. They cleared the land and tilled the fields that still feed us. Their songs and words and deeds lift our spirits. We laugh at their jokes and cry, remembering the sorrows we shared. As we look at the world through their eyes, we remember that our souls are joined and our DNA is shared. Our loved ones live on forever in us and through us. May this day's memories bring forth new inspirations to guide us on our earthly journey until we too cease to inspire and become inspirations with them according to divine order and plan. And so it is. Amen.
This next tune is a Janice Stanfield and Greg Tamlin song. I often do it in November because it talks about gratitude, but it also talks about some of the things that I believe Doris will be talking about today, about really knowing that the divine is within you and really trusting yourself that you know that, and to use those gifts that you've been given. Lately I've been noticing how much I've been blessed with people to love, some peace of mind and happiness. It makes me want to pass along this love I've received as a way of giving thanks for what's been given to me. I've got a strong heart. I've got a strong love. I'm ready to use the gifts I've been given to make this world a better place to live in. Ready to use the gifts I've been given to make this world a better place to live in. I used to have a lust for more that bordered on greed, till I looked around and saw that I had more than I need. I thought I had to have it all before I could share, till I realized what's mine to give has always been there. I've got a strong heart. I've got a strong love, and I'm ready to use the gifts I've been given to make this world a better place to live in. Ready to use the gifts I've been given to make this world a better place to live in. I may not make a difference that the whole world can see, but if I can show more kindness, that's what matters to me. I'm changing on the outside, finding gray in my hair, but the difference on the inside is that I don't care. I'm losing my desire to be what I'm not, and I got what I want now that I want what I got. I got a strong strong love. And I'm ready to use the gifts I've been given to make this world a better place to live in. Ready to use the gifts I've been given to make this world a better place to live in. Ready to use the gifts I've been given.
So we are very grateful for you, Maylin, your willingness to show up and be a part of our congregation and sing and bless us with your energy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, Eric Butterworth, chapter 13. I wonder about that. No, all right. Chapter 13 is Jesus' formula for healing. Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity, said that health, real health, comes from within and does not have to be manufactured in the without. It is the normal condition, he says, of man, we know of people, a condition true to the reality of our very being. So you practically can't see this, but last Sunday I planted roses. And the thorn poked straight in, and because I was carrying it, ripped up. It hurt like you know what. It bled like you know what. A Band-Aid wouldn't hold it. And it's a week later, and you can barely see it. Now you know that the Band-Aid did not heal my hand. Anything I put on that to either help it stop bleeding or clean it out did not heal my hand. When we say healing comes from within, it's part of what we are just by being born and being here. We watch all kinds of things heal. And yet, at the same time, we know that sometimes healing eludes us. What's the distinction? And even before we talk about what's the distinction, what do you consider healing to be? And if you haven't been here before, please know that you are entitled to talk and not required to talk. So if you think of it as like, I'm going to say being in a class where you can talk and raise your hand and talk back to the teacher if you want to, all those things are absolutely within the realm of it's fabulous when you participate. But what do you think healing is?
Well, I think healing can be God's energy flowing through us and bringing us back to our natural state. And my spiritual journey started with a very profound healing experience. I had a pituitary tumor when I was, it probably started when I was in my teens, and it was surgically removed. And I had tests every year, and then the test showed that it was coming back. And at that time, my mother, who had been taken to the Philippines to the healers the year before by a friend, said, "You're going to go with me and see these healers." And these healers were spiritualists. They had very strong faith, and when I came back, the tests were normal. So I just know that God's energy is that flows through people. And when I do healing prayers for others or give healing energy, I just visualize that healing energy moving through their body and just making things back to balance.
So you sort of used healing and spiritual as synonyms. Is that how you think of it?
I do, because I think that there's, well, I got to tell you one aspect of that. No, it's not, because I know that the healers over there had a TV company come over to document, and one of the people that was standing behind and being very skeptical of the whole thing, that person even experienced a healing. So I think in the person themselves, there doesn't have to be that belief. But yeah, I do think it's a spiritual thing. And I think that God's energy can just move through people, and you can ask for it to move through people.
Thank you, Linda. Somebody else. Healing. What is healing?
I think that it's actually within us all to begin with, and sometimes the difference between other religions and the spirituality that I know and love with Unity and Science of Mind is that it's within us. I mean, it's not something that has to come from someone else, though sometimes that can help it and that can intensify it, if you will, or maybe speed it. But I know that there are times that I have a headache or I wake up with a cramp or something, and I literally put one hand out and just get that energy and also use it from my right hand that sends the energy, and I can have it go away within minutes. And I think that's in all of us, and we haven't been taught that, all of us.
So besides being a chaplain, this is Dr. Carol Braun. What's healing to you?
Well, my understanding of healing has evolved over the years. I think it's expanded. I think that to me, it's returning to your perfection. And in recent years, I think, you run into people, of course, that have a tumor or something that can't be, quote, healed, but maybe they die from it. But to me, death is the ultimate healing. It's the ultimate chance to return to your perfection. So I think it's more being in line with who you are, where you are in your life and your journey, and being true to that, to your best and highest good.
And yet, we go to doctors. If we were Christian Science, which is part of the lineage of Unity, you would never go to a doctor. That's one of the distinctions between Christian Science and Unity is Unity believes that doctors can be a source of healing. And yet, as Carol just said, not all healing results in continuing life.
Our minds know how to heal, and I think our minds get in our way from healing all the time. That when you center yourself in prayer and others are praying with you, what you need to do or who you need to see to help you heal, all of those things are more accessible to you if you calm down through prayer and meditation and use your higher instinct and your wisdom that's a power within you to take you to the right person or the right place or the right activities that will help your body do what it knows how to do.
Thank you. So, on the one hand, May Lynn says, I heal myself by. On the other hand, Doris might say, I go to a doctor. Carol might say, come and I will pray with you. All of those things are parts of healing.
For me, healing is, eating well, exercise, not smoking, not drinking excessively, doing things in moderation. But I'm a firm believer that attitude is really, really important. And, I think if we have a negative attitude, and that's sometimes reflected in our immune system. I think our immune system works a lot better when we're real positive. I always remember a story. I had a friend that lived up in Idaho, and he was an internal medicine doctor. And I remember a lot of times people would come in to him and they would say that they were sick, and he would tell them that they were fine. And I think they were disappointed when they found out that they were okay. They really wanted to be told that that they were sick. And I think attitude is real important. I think that our perspective on things reflects a lot in our immune system. There's a lot of things that go into that, but the attitude, I think, is very, very important.
Thank you, Mark. So isn't that, sure, Clyde?
I agree with Mark that attitude is important, and I remember hearing time and time again that there is a body-mind connection, and that what we have in our minds we often put into our bodies. And so therein is attitude. By our attitude, we can sometimes create cancers and heart disease and things like that. And I think it's also true that by having a positive attitude, we can allow the body to heal or give it the best environment for it to heal, which it is naturally wanting to do. And I see healing as the process, and this is similar to Carol, of coming back to wholeness. So, there.
Thanks. Clyde said an interesting word that kind of goes with what Mark was saying. We can allow our bodies to heal. Sometimes it seems like there are some individuals who would prefer to be sick so they can take a pill to get better. Isn't it interesting that in a way we have given away our power to the power of a pill or a drug or a treatment? And yet, here I sit, I have 5 stents in my heart, I have a pig's valve in my heart, and I have a pacemaker in my heart. So obviously, I utilize medicine. And yet, I don't believe that any of those things, any of my devices, heal me, but they allow me to create health in my body. So my brother, my big brother, who was 13 years older than I was, from the time he was somewhere in high school, he smoked. And when he was in the Air Force and most of his adult life, he smoked like 3 to 4 packs of cigarettes a day. Now, when he was in his 50s, he quit. However, he ended up dying of stomach cancer. His lungs were fine, but he always smoked and drank. Now, it could have been a Coke, it could have been a cup of coffee, it could have been a beer. But when you drink, it takes the nicotine straight down to your stomach, I have been told. And you can't get that out of there. So there is the dis-ease, disease, that we have in our bodies that in truth we created. You know, I love my brother, and it would be my preference that he would not have died when he did. And yet, in a sense, he created his own death. So I told you about all the stuff that I have in my heart. I was raised by a good Swiss mama, and cheese and butter and meat made up a huge part of my diet for most of my life. So the fact that I had to have my arteries cleaned out is because of what I created. Sometimes we create the disease that we have that we want someone else to fix. Healing. It's interesting to me because we also talk about mental healing. Lots of healing to be done there. When we talk about how our childhood impacted us, when we talk about perhaps substances that we've abused, see, this is all a form of healing. We create our world with our thoughts, with our words, and with our actions. So there's the parts that we get to control. You know, bless Marilyn's heart. We know that she's doing it right for a long time. How old are you, Marilyn? 94. And you watched her practically run across the room to fix that. Well, it's awesome. But you know, she may not have done everything right her whole life. I haven't known her that long. But do you see how she created a different life than my brother did? Or than my mother and I have done? So we get to contribute to our healing. When we talk about, as Eric Butterworth does in Discover the Power, Jesus' formula for healing, he's talking about diseases. He went all over Galilee, according to the Gospels, healing all manner of disease. Now, if you think about what you know about the various parables that you've heard, how did Jesus heal? What did he do? What? Did he believe, or who had to believe?
Well, he's God. God, the perfect, whole, and completely healthy essence is who we are.
Essence is who we are. So what part did the person have to contribute that needed the healing?
The person had to believe, yeah.
What, Clyde?
The person being healed was the one who had to believe that he or she could be healed.
He would often say, your belief has made you whole. So they came to Jesus much like I might walk into a doctor, but Jesus wasn't a magician. He didn't have a wand. He didn't go, you're healed. So when people came to him, what were they believing?
That they were sick.
And what else were they believing?
That he could heal.
Yeah, see, they believed that he could heal them. Your belief, not just in Jesus, but your belief in the power of healing. See, some of us may attribute it to God. Some of us could attribute it to Jesus. Some of us can attribute it to a healer. You know, did you all read Eat, Pray, Love years ago? You know, some people believe that if I go to this person, they will heal me. If I have this surgery, it will heal me. Your belief has made you whole. And in a sense, it almost appears, and please know you're free to argue with me, there's no authoritative decree coming out right now. But if you believe a healer can heal you, you'll be healed. If you believe a doctor can heal you, you'll be healed. If you believe a minister can heal you, you'll be healed. And Carol would like to talk, I can tell, Ken.
I think that we also have to remember that, yes, we have an influence on our healing. It depends on what you call healed. If your mind is peaceful, you're healed. And all of us, when we come here, we don't know if we've got a year to live, 10 years to live, 90 years to live. We don't know that. Just like when you buy a new car, you don't know how long it's going to last. But we know that people don't last forever. We know that cars don't last forever. And so healing is staying true to the best you can be with what you have and being at peace with that. And I don't want people to come out of this. Yes, we have control over our health in many, many ways, but at the same time, we also have control over our minds and how we react to what happens to us in life. And just because somebody dies of cancer doesn't necessarily mean that they did something wrong.
And Carol's absolutely right. There isn't anyone who isn't going to die, right? We haven't, or if there is, we haven't met them yet. So death isn't failure. Do you see how complicated this is? You know, part of what I do by asking questions and what we're experimenting with here at Unity on the Avenue and everybody talking is about how do you think about these topics? How can you create a mindset of perfect health, of knowing that your body has the ability to heal, and your belief in that truth?
I have an interesting other side of that with my brother. He was 24 years old and he went into a store to buy a raft, and he said, wouldn't it be cool if I was going down some rapid somewhere? And that's how I died. And 3 days later, that's how he died. Wow. And so what I learned from that was be careful what you ask for. And it was also kind of cool in a sense. I mean, I realize now how powerful that statement was, not just for the face of it, but he was always a very powerful person and was an old soul. And as I've grown up, I learned that things that I say I get pretty quickly from manifesting pets or whatever, manifesting lots of things in my life. But I think that the power of our words is much more powerful than sometimes we give ourselves credit for. And I think that that's really, he was struggling. He had a hard time. He was an old soul, and he would say, why do I get it and people don't get what I get? So there was a lot of pain for him in this lifetime, and I think that was all connected to the fact that he passed away the way that he did, having such joy.
Clyde.
Yes, in a sense, we create our lives. That often what happens, we may not be conscious of it, but we are creating it. I also think that there's something else that's really important in the beginning to process of healing, and that is acceptance. That this is the way it is, and it's okay. It doesn't mean it's okay, I like it. It just means I accept that this is part of my life. This is the way it is. And if it's not something that I would like to be, then I can work on trying to make it different. And whatever happens in that process, I accept that too. So I think life is always the process, each and every moment, of accepting what is.
That's one of the beauties of unity that's unique in our New Thought family, because we don't just do affirmation. Affirmation you could also call a prayer. We do a denial, and then an affirmation. And if you're not used to unity talk, denial is a weird word, because in our vernacular today, we don't want to be in denial. Well, that's not what unity is talking about. A denial is we acknowledge that this condition exists, i.e., Doris has hardware in her heart. That's true. It's a condition that exists. And I affirm the truth, which is Doris is a whole and perfect child of God. So the fact that I have hardware in my heart does not preclude me from being whole and healthy. So, over 30 years of ministry, I've gotten tired of walking in and saying, if you do these 3 things, your life is going to change. Because I've had a fair amount of people get cranky with me that they've done those 3 things and their life didn't change. So thinking about how we live, how we behave, and what's possible. Possible doesn't mean that you have to do it. Christianity calls that free will. When Jesus was out teaching, he said, all that I do, you can do too. So when we talk about being the religion of Jesus rather than the religion about Jesus, we're acknowledging and honoring the fact that any single thing that the New Testament tells us that Jesus did, you have the power to do. I have the power to do. And the fact that you and I haven't done it yet simply means either that we haven't believed we can, or it hasn't been the right time yet for us to demonstrate that. So that's part of what we're looking at in terms of what healing could potentially mean. So Memorial Day is about honoring people who are no longer alive, people that we love, people that we appreciate, people that have served. When we remember who we really are, when we can remember our own wholeness that's always here, we forget sometimes. We come together to remind ourselves, to remember. That's true. Think of all the different healing modalities that you're aware of. I'm guessing most of you have heard of Reiki. I'm guessing most of you have heard of healing touch. Energy healing we talked about. Certainly physicians, prayer. All of these are tools that we have to help us remember that it's our belief that makes us whole. Doesn't mean we're going to live forever. One of these days, Doris won't wake up. And it will not be a surprise to any of you, because I have all this stuff in my heart. So when it's time for me to check out, I will. And that may be the greatest healing of all. So healing. I sit with these talks or topics, however you want to look with it. And what came to me was what we're trying to do is get back to the garden. Now, most of you are old enough to know what that's a reference to. What garden do we want to get back to? Louder? Eden. And we were helped along by Joni Mitchell and Woodstock. We are stardust. We're golden. We've got to get ourselves back to the garden. We also have logical consequences. All of these things are part of what we're doing. What Jesus is really teaching And it's in John 8:32. The most important thing we can do is know the truth, because the truth will set us free. And Unity's never here to say, this is the truth, you must believe this. It's not how we roll. But we suggest these are possibilities. Find the possibility that suits you. We're also healing when we can be a witness without judging. We've been talking about that in the Enneagram class. That's a tough one. Can you just witness what is without judging it? You can also heal when you respond rather than react. You can also heal when you're more faith-filled and less fearful. You can also heal, and this has been referred to, when you can be comfortable with your discomfort. Can you be okay with what is, as Byron Katie says? Can you set more boundaries and have less resentment? Can you feel more inner peace, which is what Carol was talking about, and less chaos? Can you know who you are as a divine child and know that you're not your thoughts or your feelings? Don Miguel Ruiz tried to teach us that one. Can you live in the now instead of in the past? Forgiving the things that upset you. Can you develop more self-love and less self-sabotage? Inviting you to simply join us for a few moments of peace and calm. If it's right, you can close your eyes. If it's not, give yourself a gentle gaze. Simply focus on your breath. The hum of the fan, the soft strumming of the guitar. Just breathe. We each are participating in this moment in the miracle called breathing. Our hearts are beating, and we're participating in the miracle called life. We didn't do anything to achieve this life. But we do have the power to affect how we live this life. Every moment of every day we are presented with choices. Will I rise up out of this chair? Will I eat this dish of ice cream? Will I have this drink? Will I actually go to my exercise class? Will I send love and energy to the world? Or will I send judgment and anger? We can hardly talk about what health and healing involves. And yet we have the power to affect it. Not complete power. Thoughts, attitudes, feelings, judgments, all race around like busy bees in our minds. We are the ones who get to choose which ones are invited to stay and which ones are invited to leave. So we pause for a few moments of stillness, a few moments of observation. What's buzzing in your minds right now? We begin each service by saying there is only one power and one presence in the universe and in our lives. God. When we actually believe that, it affects every moment of every day. So we hold that truth for ourselves. We hold that for each other. We are grateful for this thing we call life. We are grateful for this unity community called Unity on the Avenue. We are grateful for all that we have, all that we are given. So we simply say thank you. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. We are one now, 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 we are one now.
This is the time in our service where we have an opportunity to share of the gifts that we have in support of Unity on the Avenue. You can give cash, you can use your credit card in the square in the back, and that will give you an instantaneous email receipt. You can write a check. You can just bless that offering plate when it flows past you. All those things are options. If you see people put these in, why then you know that they are consistently giving straight to the church without physical. So I invite you to join us in our offertory affirmation. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
So part of my healing happened when I realized what I was here to do. And that was what I do every day, and that's music. Surrender to your gifts, let your light shine. Surrender to your gifts, you will shine. Surrender to your gifts and let your light shine. You will shine, you will shine, you will shine. Remember what you did when you were younger. The one thing that satisfied your hunger. You don't have to think too much. I see it in your eyes. There's no more time for you to wonder. So surrender to your gifts, let your light shine. Surrender to your gifts, you will shine. Surrender to your gifts and let your light shine. You will shine, you will shine, you will shine. Deep down you know what your passion is, the one thing that brings you the most bliss. You don't have to think too long, I see it in your face. You know exactly what it is. So surrender to your gifts, let your light shine. Surrender to your gifts and you will shine. Surrender to your gifts and let your light shine. You will shine, you will shine, you will shine. And how many times do you have to hear you've got it before you know it to be true? So surrender to your gifts and let your light shine. Surrender to your gifts and you will shine. Surrender to your gifts and let your light shine. You will shine, you will shine, you will shine. You know what means the most to you, the one thing you said you'd get around to. You don't have to think too hard, I see it in your smile. You know exactly what to do. So surrender to your gifts and let your light shine. Surrender to your gifts and you will shine. Surrender to your gifts and let your light shine. You will shine, you will shine, you will shine. You will shine, you will shine, you will shine. You will shine, you will shine, you will shine.
Thank you for reminding us to just shine our light out to everybody. So, we'll bless your inner child. Let's bless your inner child and the children who usually are here but are other places today. So just know that you are loved, special, and important. We see you and bless the divine being that you are. And we know together that the light of God surrounds us. I am that light. The love of God enfolds us. I am that love. The power of God protects us. I am that power. The presence of God watches over us. I am that presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.